Today we've got a Colnago with a headset issue. This is actually a V3. Customer just brought it in the sale, great price, fantastic build actually, but they've got this problem with the headset where it seems to be rubbing and sticking. And if you look closer inspection, you can see lots of gaps here. Just going to use a feeler gauge to help you see it on the camera, but putting this gauge in, you can see how that gap closes. Now, really not ideal. So there's a few things going on. The customer has tried themselves to fit it. They've actually put some different top caps. They brought it into us with other little spacers as well to try and solve it themselves. Eventually came into us to give up, like, what's going on with this? It's annoying me. So I've got a few hypotheses before we get into this. Now, one, it is very rare that you see a Colnago fitted with a Deda Superbox. Normally they use their own proprietary stems, etc., especially on the V3. So even though this has come from a Colnago dealer, I suspect that this is not right. So there could be something in the setup. Another theory is just down here, if I use a feeler gauge, you can see that this lower headset cup has not been pushed in. So the gap has been closed here, just around here. The feeler gauge is going in. So it could just be a bearing alignment thing, but those are just two theories. Get into it and find out. Front wheel out. Oh, that's tight. Don't need that knocking about. Nice set of wheels. Something's going on here. You don't see Hope hubs on Colnago builds either. So looks like there's plenty of gap up here. This doesn't seem to be a problem. And with these, there's actually a little screw underneath here that needs to come out. That just helps keep this little cable guide and the Superbox stem intact. Magnetics part tray. Don't lose these bits. Now with Colnago as well, there'll also be a little red aluminium spacer in there. So as I pull this off, I'm expecting that little aluminium bit to come out. I'm just going to hold on to it. There it is. So this is how Colnago do their cable guided. They run it up through a flat section here, and then they use this little red spacer. Now the Deda Superbox actually is split, so we can pull this up and just get it away from the cables. Now, it's really tempting just to open this up wide and put it over the whole thing, but don't. This is just meant to be opened up wide enough to get past the brake hose. And then sadly you can't do that with the top cap for obvious reasons. So, oh yeah, okay, here is a problem. We're actually using the Deda full Colnago top cap. That all looks okay. And I suspect that that is not the right compression ring there. That looks like the compression ring that you'd normally get with the different Colnago top cap. Oh, in fact, it's actually broken as well, so it's snapped just there. That is definitely not cool, but that definitely looks like the wrong compression ring to me. Right, we are going to need to get this out of here anyway, so let's disconnect the brakes, do a proper job. What a shame, because someone's done quite a nice job of the bar taping as well. We've got access to the fork. Let's drop that down. Now, one thing I really want to check is, after seeing that compression ring damaged, is whether we've got any sort of mark on the steerer. It's just the tiniest little scuff. I think we've been very lucky to get away with that. It's visual, but if I run my fingernail across it, I can't really feel anything, maybe just the tiniest bit there. So yeah, very lucky. These Colnagos don't use a zero stat. They actually use a sort of a semi-integrated, so which means you actually get to see this part of the headset here. So the inside of the frame will just be straight-sided, and you push these two cups into it. So these ones here are actually captive. It looks like you replaced the entire thing. The bearings are in great condition, so we're not going to knock them out and replace them actually. What I am going to do is just put a bearing press on there and close all that down. So to do that, I'm going to have to get rid of some of this cabling temporarily so we can get a press tool through there. Headset's all pressed in square, so some problem solving. Now this is the Deda compression, the sort of the collab with Colnago, and this is what a normal Deda top cap looks like for this size. Now you can see that the Colnago one is a larger diameter here, but also on the inside it's not as shallow, so the Deda one is much more recessed. Now what Deda do, these are the Deda compression rings. The little grey one is the one that you should be using. That's what we are going to use. But if we did need to use the one that was more recessed, there is a blue version of that which is just slightly deeper, but this grey one is the correct one for Deda headsets. And with the Colnago section here, we can just offer this up and add some compression, and we've got a nice fit there. So now this is all pressed in properly, let's get it all fitted. There we go, I think we nailed it. So now we have good contact around both of these headset cups. This is spinning nice and freely. All of this is all nicely lined up. And extra bonus, we do actually have enough length in the hoses as well to reconnect those up, which is fantastic news. So bit of new bar tape, bleed those brakes up, job done. I hope you enjoyed this video, found it somewhat useful. Not always obvious, but sometimes quite easy solutions. See you in the next one.